Hey there, it's Tiffany, and I am back with another reading excerpt. This one is from a favorite from a few years ago. It is Tracy Chevalier's Girl with a Pearl Earring. Don't know if you're familiar with Tracy Chevalier as a writer, but one of the things that I really like about these books is that they are generally historical fiction. In other words, Chevalier writes about real places and real events. So there's this kernel of truth of history, and then expounds upon the story in order to create a work of fiction. So this particular book, and you can see I snagged it at the local half-price bookstore for just $2, which was a great deal. This particular book is set in the mid to late 1600s in Holland and is loosely based on the life and work of the artist Vermeer. So what's kind of cool about that is that, you know, you could go and look at pictures of Vermeer's work and you could get, you know, like you could see the actual painting, Girl with a Pearl Earring. And then you could look at that piece of art and some of the other art of Vermeer in conjunction with reading this book. It's also a really small book. It's just a few pages, over 200, and that makes it a pretty quick read. I will say, if I had to describe the writing style, or what would I say to somebody about Chevalier as a writer, I would say that Chevalier is a master of understatement. And we live in a world, I think, where so much is in your face, whether it's social media or it's music or art or television or movies. Everything is very much in your face. There isn't a lot of room, it feels like. There isn't a lot of room for me as the person being entertained or taking in the information. There's not a lot of room for me to kind of sit with those ideas and images and kind of draw my own conclusions. So much of the time it feels like all of that is just pushed at us instead of having some space where you can, you know, make some decisions of your own. And that's one of the things I really like about this particular book and this particular writer. It is understated. It is a quiet book. It is soothing and calming to read. And so if you are somebody who wants to try something different, or if you love art or history, or you're interested in historical fiction and you want to do, you know, a small book instead of one that's like 1,000 pages or something like that, then this could be a good choice for you. So this particular excerpt comes from page 36 and 37, and I hope you like it. Okay, here we go. A woman stood in front of a table, turned towards a mirror on the wall so that she was in profile. She wore a mantle of rich yellow satin trimmed with white ermine and a fashionable 5-pointed red ribbon in her hair. A window lit her from the left, falling across her face and tracing the delicate curve of her forehead and nose. She was tying a string of pearls around her neck, holding the ribbons up, her hands suspended in the air. Entranced with herself in the mirror, she did not seem to be aware that anyone was looking at her. Behind her, on a bright white wall, was an old map. In the dark foreground, the table with the letter on it, the powder brush, and the other things I had dusted around. I wanted to wear the mantle and the pearls. I wanted to know the man who painted her like that. I thought of me looking at my reflection in the mirror earlier and was ashamed. Maria Tens seemed content to stand with me and contemplate the painting. It was odd to look at it with the setting just behind it. Already from my dusting, I knew all of the objects on the table and their relation to one another. The letter by the corner, the powder brush lying casually next to the pewter bowl, the blue cloth bunched around the dark pot. Everything seemed to be exactly the same, except cleaner and purer. It made a mockery of my own cleaning. Then I saw a difference. I drew in my breath. What is it, girl? In the painting, there are no lion heads on the chair next to the woman, I said. No, there was once a lute sitting on that chair as well. He makes plenty of changes. He doesn't paint just what he sees, but what will suit. Tell me, girl, do you think that this painting is done? I stared at her. Her question must be a trick, but I could not imagine any change that would make it better. Isn't it? I faltered. Maria Tins snorted. He's been working on it for 3 months. I expect he'll do so for 2 more months. He will change things, you'll see. She looked around. Done your cleaning, have you? Well, then go on, girl. Go to your other tasks. He'll come soon to see how you've done. I looked at the painting one last time, but by studying it so hard, I felt something slip away. It was like looking at a star in the night sky. If I looked at one directly, I could barely see it. But if I looked from the corner of my eye, it became much brighter. I gathered my broom and bucket and cloth. When I left the room, Maria Tins was still standing in front of the painting. So there you have it. There's the excerpt for today. I hope you're interested in maybe reading this book, checking out some of Tracy Chevalier's other writing. There are several books that I've read that I really enjoyed. And let me know what you think and if you give it a shot. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.